We've got Tony Khan in the building and our new AEW World Champion, Swerve Strickland. Get up for the man. Let's go. Give the man a little respect.
Ladies and gentlemen, your new World Champion for AEW, Mr. Swerve Strickland.
Love to see it. How you feel? Good to see you. Take a seat.
Brand new championship belt. Here.
Unbelievable night. Dynasty was just an incredible pay-per-view, but now for you, Swerve, to have made history tonight. You had your sights set on this for some time. How you feeling?
Oh,
Has it sunk in yet?
First thing to say, my champion is black.
Yeah.
Ton of hard work went into this. Nothing was guaranteed at all. Nothing was handed out to me. I had to do a lot of inner searching to figure out what I needed to change up, what I needed to improve, and have a lot of humility to be honest with myself and say, hey, you're not great at here. You're not the best in here, and figure it out and just like work at it. No excuses. Cause like in my culture where I come from, we're not awarded excuses. Excuses get us nowhere or killed. And I'm going to stay alive. I'm going to keep pushing. I have so many things to fight for, so many people to fight for. And that's what drives me every day. I get up early, I stay late, I make the extra drives, and I stay in the weight room. I stay disciplined. I do the things that a lot of other people don't want to do. Get on the plane 2 days earlier than I got to be there, because that's what's required in this. And I want that to be the standard for being a champion. Like we're not rewarded like rest. We got to be restless, because where AEW is and where we're going, like I want the fans to see how hard we're working. I want the people who aren't fans to see how hard we're working to try to join us and be fans and join this company, because this is special. Two back-to-back amazing pay-per-views of Revolution and Dynasty tonight, and I was back-to-back championship matches in both of them. That's never been done in this company as an African-American man. I don't think it's been done in any company really this big. Y'all don't quote me on that. Y'all want the sources, go find them, tell me, tell the world. I don't give a damn. But like, we're doing something special here, and I'm just proud to be the face of the franchise, because this is a dynasty we're building.
Very well deserved. An incredible night for you. A huge congratulations. Let's open it up to the floor and to the media for any questions.
Start on this side first.
Hi, Joel Torres from Contralona. Congratulations, new champ.
Thank you.
Last December, back at AEW Worlds, and I asked you, what was your main goal in 2024? And you answered, being the first African American to win the World Championship of AEW. I want to know how inspiring has been this victory for you, and obviously this road going to that title.
I wasn't going to settle for anything less. Like, I think I was offered opportunities at the international title, and I turned it down. Like, no disrespect to Orange Cassidy, what he was doing at the time with the championship, but like, I can't settle for less, and I want to shoot for the top. And that's how everybody's mindset should be in this business. That's how everybody's mindset is in AEW. We want to shoot for the top. We want to go to the main event. We want to fight and grind. We got 5 matches here tonight that could have been main events, like, easily, because that's how competitive we are. That's how special this roster is, you know. And so I got to have that mindset to push even further. Like, I can't settle for less, because nobody else is.
Next question.
Rich Latta, One Nation Radio. At AEW All Out 2022, you were up in the same position you were in right now, and you were asked about an audible possibly being called during your match. Can you compare those feelings to how you're feeling right now?
It showed that, we still got a lot of work to do. Simple, plain and simple. It showed us, like, okay, like, we can just make those decisions on the fly, on a call. just on the whim, just because, not knowing the ripple effects that has, you know, and that was a chip on my shoulder from that day forward, you know, and we beat the hell out of each other. We put on a performance of a lifetime, be overshadowed by some bullshit a lot of times, you know. I stand with anybody says that was the best match on that show, even this man here. And that put a chip on the shoulder to want to push to get here. That's how we turn negatives into positives. We don't go online and talk about it. No, I put the work in and I give you results.
Over here, Swerve.
Hey, how's it going, Swerve? Daryl Starks with Covalent TV. I just want to ask, because you are the first African-American champ of AEW, what is the message you want to send to little black boys and little black girls that are watching you right now and just saw you win that championship?
So many. It's hard to choose just one message. I think this one moment sends many messages to everybody. And primarily it's just like, it's possible. It can be done. But it's not easy. Like I kept saying this throughout the week, through all these interviews and media I was doing, is like what happens if this doesn't work out? I don't win the championship. I'm like, oh, we'll push it down the road. We got to wait for a bigger moment. We got to push it down the road again. That's happened several times in history, and pushing it down the road results to missed opportunities. It never happens. And I've seen that way too many times as a kid growing up. I'm sure you have too, and I'm sure a lot of other people have. They've seen opportunities for us pushed down the road. We want to build it to something bigger around the corner, and boom, injuries. Boom, somebody else gets the opportunity in front of them. Boom, that person's not as hot as they were before, and the timing was missed. And boom, like that person, you never hear or see from them again. They're released, fired, gone somewhere else, and that moment just flickered. Like, when it's our moment, we have to take it. That's what the message I wanted to send. That's why I came out in the outfit that I wear. I'm not coming to be rewarded the crown and the throne. I'm here to take it. That's what we have to do. We have to take it.
Question over here for Swerve.
Angel from Wrestling News Co. So you threw out the first pitch at the Cardinals game. I'm not from here, but I keep up with all the PR
Sir,
stuff.
thank you.
So are we going to see more of that? You branching out to extend to try to bring in more casual fans?
I find that funny because I've been doing that.
I know you have.
I've been doing that 2 years now.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know why we're asking the question 2 years late, because I've been doing that for 2 years now. But now this is around, now am I going to start doing it more? I've been doing that. Doing that is what got me here. So maybe
Can I do a follow-up on that?
Go ahead.
Will we see footage of those kind of things on TV more often?
Sure, I think it's a great point. I mean, it was, you know, those are great media opportunities. This was certainly good timing with Dynasty weekend to get Swerve throwing out the first pitch at the Cardinals game. So absolutely, I think when we get those things, that's a great point. You know, getting the B-roll and the rights, when we can get the rights from the teams, especially, that's great.
Over here next.
Jason Frazier with Mind's Eye Radio. You know, you talked a little bit about history, and I'm growing up as a black man. It was always a rarity to see anybody holding that top title, if at all. What kept you motivated and pushing, knowing, you know, you don't see a lot of representation there? What was the motivating factor for you to just keep pushing, knowing you're now setting a new standard with your movement?
Friends of mine, seeing like friends like my friend Kofi, like that's the last 5 years was like probably one of the most biggest inspirational things you've ever seen, not just in Black history, but just wrestling history, period. And it's like, that's motivating, that's inspiring. And that makes me want to, like, I want to do that for the next generation, you know? And like, I don't want to just do it once. I want to do it multiple times, you know? And the fact that I was able to somewhat try to recreate a feeling like that in just a small amount of time, not like 20 years later, not, you know, 15, 30, 40 years later, but like that close in time, that's progress, in my opinion, in my mind, you know. It's not just me, it's a team. Like Nana's a part of that. Like my people, my family, all these people right here, none of this happens without any of these guys together. All this is like pushing me, like pulling something out of me that I didn't know I had, like Tony believing in me, putting me in the opportunity. He didn't give me anything. He gave me an opportunity to make something out of it. And it was up to me to do the work. And that should go for anybody, not just any black person, any person, period. Right. You're never given, like, some people, I hate the feeling of like hearing on social media, something like, oh, they weren't given a chance. I'm like, no, they were given chances. What did they do with those chances? You're given chances, whether they big or small, but you got to make something out of that shit. I was given small opportunities, company after company after company, time and promotion, and like, it didn't matter. I found a way to make something out of it, and I pushed forward, and I made it uniquely me. It was Swerve doing it. It wasn't another wrestler doing it. It was Swerve doing it. Like, that's the only way to progress in this game. And like, if you listen to my podcast, my man Montez is right over here. We say this shit every freaking episode. We just had Adam Copeland on today saying the same shit we do every episode, every week. Every like, we put out that content because it's not just content of us talking. These are tools. We want to give tools to the people of the next generation. Go out and listen to that, because it's not just us saying it. It's people that have been there and done it that are saying the same shit that I'm saying. Maybe if it's not coming from my mouth, maybe it's coming from our guest's mouth. Maybe that's going to change someone else's life. Maybe that's going to get them to get up and be inspired to move forward and do something that they were missing. Something as small as they were missing a little nugget, and they go and listen to these people that have done it, been successful in all acts of just entertainment, all acts of the world. They can go out there and find something, and it's a tool to go and move and possibly do something like this, you know?
All right, we're going to do 2 more questions for the champ over here.
Hey, Phil Lindy from Bleacher Report. Congratulations on the win.
Thank you. I'm still mad at you, by the way. We still gonna fight. We still gonna fight.
You talked about capturing the moment and how important it was to not wait. Coming into this year, you had a mentor coming in and Adam Copeland, some big free agent signings coming in. How much did those things encourage you not to just seize the moment, but also step up to compete with them?
Oh man, huge. A lot of, like, this easy to find ways to feel like that's a threat to you guys, you know, like to us, to the locker room. It's an easy way, but man, it's just like, all right, this is happening. We gotta do something more. We gotta push, like, create, innovate. We have to really start grinding our gears, because this is an ongoing business that's constantly moving. It's a never-ending Rubik's Cube. This industry is, and it'll eat you alive if you can't figure out one side of it. It'll eat you alive trying to figure it out. But man, like, these people that are coming in, these are people. Maybe this is people you want to build a team with. Maybe these are people that you want to not fight against. Maybe we didn't start building with them instead of just trying to, like, look at them as just, like, you know, trying to beat them out a little bit. I don't know. I look at things a little differently. Maybe, like, I don't know. That's just me. Like, maybe there's other ways around it rather than the obvious of just like, this guy's coming to take my spot, this woman's coming to take her spot. Maybe there's something. Maybe there's another way, and maybe AEW is offering that other way to get things done. Worth looking into.
Okay, final question for Swerve back here.
Congrats, champ. Jason Spurgeon, Review STL. With the rich history that St. Louis has for wrestling, you being AEW's first African-American champion, what does it mean to win that in this city with such the great history of wrestling that St. Louis has?
Well, as far as like the rich history of wrestling, that's a little difficult for me, because I'm sorry, I'm not as knowledgeable in that. But for sports, period, I grew up a St. Louis Rams fan. And Greatest Show on Turf was like the greatest football team I've ever seen in my life, still to this day. Still to this day, a Marshall Faulk fan. I hope to one day meet him. He's tremendous. But I was able to meet Kurt Warner because of this guy. So that was cool. But I remember watching the Super Bowl by myself, like in the living room, and watching. That was like when I became a football fan, and watching the St. Louis Rams win their first Super Bowl. It was so awesome. It was so cool. And then hearing Kurt Warner's story about going from bagging groceries to becoming like a backup quarterback to going to taking a team to win all the games throughout the regular season to get to the Super Bowl and win was just so inspiring to me. So to do it in this city meant I kind of feel like so relatable to that story, because I was bagging groceries. I was stocking like shelves in stores. I was like working on assembly lines, and like from going all the way from there to like feed my kids, feed my 2 girls, to pulling this off, to just getting all the way to here in the city. It means a lot to me. So St. Louis is always gonna have a special place in my heart, even like before the championship. It always did. So to finally be here and to win this championship there, it means everything to me. So as far as wrestling, can't answer your question, but as far as like sports, period, St. Louis means a lot to me.
I can introduce you to Marshall Falk. I have his number.
Oh my God. But one thing I will add, right? Like going through this, it was not easy. Walking in my shoes is not easy. I promise you, it's not. So, but if you want to try to, tonight in the ring, I was wearing my own brand new personalized shoe. The Pressure Ones right here. These are actually my shoe, not a Nike brand. This is Pressure Ones by Swerve right here. Becoming available soon. And these are gifted to you, Mr. Khan.
Oh, thank
so
you. Well,
can
how
walk in
about
my
that?
shoes.
How
Shout
about
out.
that? These are beautiful.
Flash.
Thank you.
Shout out Mosh. This man has made shoes for like LeBron, Jay-Z, Steph Curry, Odell Beckham. So this is the first actual full wrestling shoe this man has made. So
Tonight
now you got a
getting
pair.
better. It's been a great night.
So
and it
you
keeps
gift
getting
me
better.
this, I
Thank
gift you
champ.
that.
I appreciate it.
Thank
you
you so much.
Appreciate it.
Congratulations to you tonight. Get your guys, go out, celebrate.
Ooh.
Congrats.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for being here. Thank you for this moment. Appreciate you all. We made history tonight, man. We made history. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you very much, sir. Appreciate you very much.
Oh, I'm in pain. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Let's go.
All right, we go from one champion to crowning another champion here tonight. Guys, give it up for our new TBS champion, Willow Nightingale.
Hey, boss, I heard these were your favorite.
Thank you.
Is
I
this for me?
appreciate that. Those are your words?
I was like, oh, I got some
They're
Swerve
mine,
shoes.
actually. Well, I bet he
I was like,
can
they're
get
a little,
we
they're a
can
little
get
big
some.
for me.
We can get some for you.
Do I leave this here? I'm a new champion.
Welcome,
I'm just
champ.
figuring this
Here.
out.
You know what? Here, let's do this.
Oh,
Let's do one of those.
even better.
How about that, buddy?
Look at you, Tony. Always thinking.
Thank you, Chief.
Willow, a huge congratulations to you tonight. I know so much went in to this match, to you becoming our new champion. It feels like you've really come into yourself recently. How do you feel tonight?
I mean, I feel like you hear about people becoming champions. It's maybe a little redundant, but it's only because it's true. It's like, it's unreal. You know, I was a wrestling fan since I was a kid, and much to, I don't know, the dismay of my parents at times, who are here. Mom, Dad, I got my sister over here at the side. They came out to support me today. And and like this is always what I wanted to do. So to be here and to now be the face of TBS, it's surreal, but it's also not. It's reality. I made this happen. So yeah, I feel very invigorated.
We'll open up to media.
Hi, Willow. Oh, Danielle Livingston from SMNE Radio and Black Girl Wrestling. Congratulations on your win tonight. I ask, as you turn your attention away from Julia Hart and on to Mercedes Moné or whatever might come for you at Double or Nothing, how do you plan on refocusing and turning your attention towards your new opponents throughout your title reign?
I mean, honestly, I obviously do have to refocus. That is a clear obstacle that is ahead of me. But like, I just won this tonight. I'm just trying to celebrate, have a good time, celebrate on how we even got here in the first place. I'm planning to be a champion still at Double or Nothing, but I got defenses lined up. Fingers crossed I get through those intact with this in my hands around my waist. So let's celebrate tonight, and we'll get there when we get there. Yeah.
Next question over here, Willow.
Yes. Hey.
Hi, Willow. Allison Gore, Covalent TV. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You've had a really incredible year, and your ascension has been so fast and incredible. How has it felt achieving so much in such a short time?
You know, it's people always say like an overnight success doesn't happen overnight. Like for me, even getting to AEW in the first place felt like such a just like I had to put work in like every day, every moment, because I really started here. I was coming down to Jacksonville during the pandemic, and I was sitting front row in the crowd and cheering for everyone. And I was in the dark matches and like trying my best to put my best foot forward and like be the best Willow I could be and make an impression. And while I did feel like there were people who were paying attention, it was like, how do I make this happen? Like, I want this to be my job. I want to work here. I love AEW. Like, I was sitting down during quarantine at home every Wednesday watching in my Philly apartment with my boyfriend. So I was like, I know this is where I want to be. So for me, it felt like a very long journey, but I think honestly, starting last year in May when I first wrestled Mercedes to the Owen Hart tournament that I won, and then even having the first women's main event in Ring of Honor history against Athena, like bang, 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 back to back, that felt like a new level for me entirely that I was reaching. And so at that point, that's when it was clear to me as like, okay, I can be this performer. I can be this high level competitor. So when the opportunity was put before me, like, okay, you're the next competitor for the TBS title, I was like, well, I know it's within me. I've won before, and I just got to do my best to try again. So really, that was my mindset going into it. And now we're here, and you always think about like getting to the finish line, but this isn't the finish line. It's like now I'm kind of just starting. I got to keep defending this bad boy. It's very pretty, and I would like to hold on to it as long as possible.
Question over here for Willow.
Hi, Willow. Amy Nimini with WrestleJoy. First, congratulations on your win. The arena erupted for you. They were very, very happy. Now, you've had this incredible storyline and this incredible rise to this moment as the TBS champion. And I was curious, when you look at moving forward, you know, you're celebrating your win tonight, and you know, you've said that you're just getting started. What kind of mark are you looking to put on the TBS championship? Each champion so far seems to have had their own mark that they've left on the title. Jade was the inaugural dominant champion. Chris Statlander seemed to showcase the strengths of the division. And Julia, of course, was shadowed in an enigma. What sort of mark are you looking to put on the TBS championship going forward? Thank you, and congratulations again.
Thank you so much. Also, shout out how many women journalists we have in the audience. So far, all 3 questions have been women journalists, and I love to see that. And as far as like my title reign, what I want to kind of be taken away is obviously Chris Statlander is someone who's so very close to me. I've known her for years and years and years. We both came up in Long Island wrestling together, and it's really great to be at this stage together and have her like right by my side for all of it. So I look to her as someone who was like an amazing TBS champion, in my opinion, who was like constantly working like Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, back and forth, like all the time wrestling, and just like showing how like you can't mess with her. She's the best. She's a champion for a reason. So I hope to follow in her footsteps in that regard. But one thing that I am particularly proud about my role in AEW is I've noticed, or I guess I take pride in like being someone who's gone overseas, gone to work with our partners at New Japan and CMLL, and I've wrestled in Japan and in Mexico so far, being like the first woman in our division to go representing AEW specifically. And personally, I hope that I would have opportunities to bring in people from different countries. You know, I think we have an amazing roster. I want to face as many of the girls that we got here as possible, but also if we could get any of those Stardom, CMLL wrestlers in, if that could be possible, I would love that. I want to be a fighting champion.
Willow, next question over here.
Congratulations, Willow. This is
Thank you.
David Perry from Evan Max World of Wrestling. And my question to you is, how will your strategy change going from the House of Black and with Julia Hart and switching into the CEO that is Mercedes Moné, what differences in your strategy will you implement in going against Mercedes Moné?
That's a really great question. Personally, going into tonight's match with Julia, I had never pinned her before. I'd never won a match against her before. So I did have to try and like come at this from a different angle previously. With Mercedes, I have the same advantage where it's like, well, I have wrestled her before. So anytime you're wrestling somebody you already have experience against, you have a little bit extra knowledge going into it. But I am someone who has been wrestling for the entirety of the past year. Mercedes has not. And we really don't know what she has been doing in the meantime. Whereas all of my recent work has been out there for her to study. So there is a little bit of like, I don't know what to expect, but also I was her last opponent and I beat her. So we'll just keep our fingers crossed, keep working hard, and we'll see how it goes.
Great answer.
Thank you.
2 more questions for Willow. One over here.
Hi, Willow.
Hi, Phil.
Hi. The TBS title has kind of become the belt for homegrown talent, whether it be Julia, Jade Cargill. How does it feel to be a part of that lineage?
You know, I've actually never thought of it that way. But to me, I've already spoken about how much I love AEW, how even before I was here, I was watching it on my couch every Wednesday night. But to be at a company where I kind of started at the bottom, right? Where I was striving to prove myself time and time and time again to now be the TBS champion. It's a great honor. And when I look at the women who held the championship before me, I really do have so much respect and appreciate what each one of them has been able to do. And of course, for myself, selfishly, I don't want to let this championship down. I don't want to let myself down, but I also feel like I have to uphold the level of competitiveness, the level of like regality even that every single champion so far has held. So I know that that's what's ahead of me, and that is what I aim to obtain and continue to like manage.
Got a lot of good head nods on regality.
Regality.
Do we have one more question? That was
I think that's it.
That was it. Great. Well, thank you so much, Willow. Huge congratulations.
Congratulations.
Again, go out, celebrate, enjoy your night.
I
Your
sure
family's
will.
here.
Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Toni. Thank you, Renee.
Thank you. Well, we're going to keep it going with the ladies here. So buckle up, guys, because joining us right now is our timeless AEW Women's World Champion, Miss Toni Storm.
Yes, I know this is usually the part of the night where I come out and I humor you all with my one-liners so that you can monetize your YouTube. But to be honest, I'm not in the fucking mood. So I've prepared a statement. How you going, by the way?
Tremendous. Tremendous. Congratulations.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
How long do I have to do this? Week after week, night after night, before you realize that I am the one who is transcending this business. Just because I don't go out there and say it doesn't mean it's not true. Do I really have to tell you every single night? Are you that thick? Too busy chasing people, blithering about goosebumps and levels and storytelling in cinema. Go see a fucking movie. Nicole Garcia thought about joining AEW when she saw what Mercedes did. You know why she didn't? Because then she saw me and realized she can't hold a pussy-scented candle to what I do. I am the one taking this company to new heights, and I don't even try to. I'm just being me, and it's the greatest thing I could ever be. And it's the greatest thing that could happen to all of you too, for every one of you who saw me all those years ago and thought, she has potential. You had absolutely no idea it was going to get this good, did you? Tomorrow morning, your headlines should read, "Holy fuck, was I wrong?" And Anthony, I promise you, no matter how many matches I win, no matter how many stories I finish, I will never call you into the ring to celebrate with me. Yeah.
Good.
Being timeless means I'm not on your watch. My success is my own, and we're damn lucky to be a part of it.
Thank you.
And if any of you have a single question after that, you're as stupid as you look.
Beautiful. Thank you for your time, Miss Storm.
That was wonderful. Wonderful.
Does anyone dare throw a question?
Question
towards
over
Miss
here.
Storm?
Be able to follow that.
I got one, Garrett, Pace Magazine. I just want to know who in the company was like, Luther looks enough like Eric von Stroheim to play Tony's butler. All right. Good call.
Otto Preminger. Yeah, Otto Preminger. Hey, you might be right.
Any other questions?
Right here. Daryl with Covalent TV. I just have to ask, have you had a discussion with Tony Khan for Double or Nothing to finally get your match with Wendy Richter?
Ooh.
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think that's going to work out. I'm sorry. Sorry.
Question over here.
You may be timeless, but I don't think she is.
Angel at Wrestling News Co. Mariah May is ranked number 4. Are you at all thinking about what happens if she moves up to number 1 maybe later this year?
See ya.
Congratulations.
Bye.
Wow, you really got to buckle up for those statements. They're bold.
I'll hang on to this.
Yeah. Save that for your files.
Yeah.
All right, guys. The next gentleman joining us here on the stage, this man I think left us all with permanent goosebumps tonight. Please welcome Will Ospreay.
Yeah. Thank you.
Is it all right for to start with something? I'm super glad that everybody enjoyed the match. A little bit of a dampener on how it's all kind of the dust has settled now. I've reviewed the footage myself. It seemed that Brian got hurt on the Storm driver, and I didn't see the doctor call. The referee called for the doctor, and I didn't see it. So I want to apologize on that. Obviously, like within the confines of wrestling, I do go, like I said, in the ring, it is more or less, it's your life versus mine, until you kind of see it staring at you in the face of what I did. And I'm honestly, I feel awful about this. So even though like 90% of the time that move's been absolutely fine, seeing the damage that it's kind of done, I'm gonna retire using the Storm Driver 91. I don't think it's right for me to continue using it after seeing what it did to Brian, like someone that I've got like huge amounts of respect for, and this was kind of my dream match. This is something that I've wanted for since I was a kid, bruv. So to see the outcome, although I'm happy with everyone enjoyed the match, I'm kind of disappointed in myself. So once again, I apologize to Brian. I apologize to AEW Menix. I apologize to Tony. And yeah, I mean, other than that, any questions?
It was a great match, Will. Congratulations.
Sorry, I'm like, it's proper fucking with me, innit? Like, so I'm really sorry, mate.
No, honestly, I mean, thankfully, I think Brian's going to be okay, and the match was tremendous. And I mean, really, I think tonight was a triumph in every way. Thank you for tonight.
You still want to take questions?
Yeah, I'm all good. I'll try and be a little bit more cheery, but I just, yeah, go on.
Question over here.
Hey, Will, Caden Lee from Wrestle Purist.
What's up, Caden?
Congrats on the tremendous match tonight.
Mhm.
You recently took aim at Triple H in a
Do
promo
we have to
talking
keep talking
about wrestlers running from the grind. Do you believe that your output and including matches like tonight shut that conversation down?
I mean, yes. I mean, of course. I don't want to address it anymore. Like, I come from a generation when, the way I grow up, if you throw a jab, I throw one back. And although I wasn't mentioned by name, it's clearly about me. So, all due respect, like, I'm kind of done with mentioning anyone over there now. Like, I don't want to do that anymore because I feel like I lowered myself to that standard, and I don't need to do that anymore. Like, look what I just did in the ring with Brian, and like, that's only match 2 from pay-per-views. Do you know what I mean? I've got a fuckload more to go down. So, like, with all due respect, like, if you take everything into consideration, like, of course, I'm annoyed about the jab that I took. I threw one back. I don't think it was anything bad. I don't think it's a freaking joke from like 20 years ago, for fuck's sake. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't be too butthurt. But a lot of, like, do you know what I mean? That's the first time, I'll be honest with you, that's the first time I've ever experienced true tribalism between the two. It's not nice. It's unnecessary. I'm over it. I can't be bothered with it. I just want to focus on promoting AEW. So I don't regret what I say. I'm saying that now. Because once again, you take the entire thing into consideration. Like, it did piss me off, but from this day on, like, I won't like go down that route. I don't need to. Do you know what I mean? I'm fucking the best wrestler in the world. Don't need to fucking fuck with guys below me.
Next question over here, Will.
David Perry, Evan Max, World of Wrestling. Will, first, I would like to say you're an inspiration to a father who has a kid on the autistic spectrum. And
Really?
I saw you on. Yes, absolutely. I just wanted to say you're an inspiration.
Thank you,
because,
man.
you know, it's difficult being a parent and, you know, having somebody have the courage that you had to be out there and say that you have autism and you have ADHD. Just wanted to tell you you're an inspiration. I'm a big fan. And my question is, when will you have your eyes set on the AEW world title and Swerve Strickland?
I mean, I saw Swerve when he came back. I was getting my hand looked at. I saw him come back, and I was just so happy for him. Swerve, actually, he can tell this story a few times. He's been around my mum's house a few times. I've looked after him. We've gone to like trampoline parks in England together. So I like knew Swerve when he was like CZW Swerve. So like, yeah, man, and dance off in Germany, man. There's been a load of them as well. There's been loads of dance off that quite a lot of you guys haven't seen, where nudity might have been involved. Who knows? No, I'm joking. I was naked. But like, to see how far he has come from just like another indie guy. He was, but like, you could sense that there was something special. He had an aura about him that dated back when I would see him in like OTT over in Ireland. Like, I saw it there, and people would sing along with him, and they would feel his energy and feel his vibe. To then come here in AEW and watch his growth. Like, even before I was a part of AEW, I've always watched from the sidelines. I've always been a supportive guy. To see him come in, and you just knew the moment he came in, he was going to be world champion one day. And today, he's shown every bit what an inspiration he is to be a representation for African-American people as a champion. And for me, like, my son's brown as well, to like look at that. I'm sure he's going to look at what Shane has done, and he's going to be inspired by that. So that's what this is all about, inspiring people, man. Thank you.
Question over here.
Will, somebody already asked my question, so I just wanted to ask you, I don't know how many people know, you paid for the ring for soft ground wrestling, the orphans in Uganda. I don't know if you wanted to talk about that. I don't have a question. I just want to bring that up.
I'd love to. Honestly, that gave me so much joy and happiness to see what they did, because it reminds me of when we used to backyard, like, where we would set out. Like, I was lucky enough, my mum saw I was getting in trouble in school, right? So then, to keep me off the street, she would put a wrestling ring in my back garden. So like, it wasn't about like performing to anyone. There was no stress. There was no like, it was just, you had your best friends around you trying to will yourself on to do some just good pro wrestling matches. And seeing that over there, and I couldn't believe like the joy and the energy that they were bringing to like something that, like, you know what I mean? I see so many people being negative all the time. And like in a place like this, especially where like, I can't believe how lucky I am to be here. I cannot believe how lucky I am to be a part of this roster, to have that. Those fans today were ridiculous. I can't believe how lucky I am. And to see people like moan, and then to see like they're wrestling on the ground, for fuck's sake. Like, to see that and to see their enthusiasm, their energies, I want to be a part of that too. So like to be able to just go like, there you go. And just a little wink and a nudge. I'll see you over there soon, lads. That's my dream, man. I like, not dream, but like, I mean, that's my ambition, I'll say. I really want to go over to Uganda and go do some wrestling.
Last question over here.
Yes, sir. Oh, hello.
Hi, Will. Danielle Livingston from Black Girl Wrestling. Congratulations on an amazing match. Obviously, we all loved it. When you reflect on the match and when you think about the stories that you're going to tell yourself about this match, where do you think it compares to some of your other performances?
In terms of performance, I think this is probably the best one I've ever done. Like I was really thinking about it, like as I was in there, and as soon as I heard the three, I'll be honest with you, I've never felt more joy of performing at that level. At a guy like I grew up watching. Like, can I tell the story quickly? I know you got to like.
This is great.
My favorite story to tell people was my dad trying to understand the teenage Bill, and I liked Ring of Honor, New Japan, Dragon Gate, Noah, TNA. I was like a kind of like the underground kid. Love that. And my dad bought me tickets to All Star Wrestling, right, for my birthday with all my backyard mates. Now, if anyone doesn't know what All Star Wrestling is, it's very like pantomime style of wrestling. You got like postmans with like big fat beer bellies and like easy. It's like really catered for children. And at the end of it, they would do the English people versus the international talent. And for the life of me, I can't remember the other two. What, it was an 8-man tag. But one of them was Rene Dupree. And I was like, what are you doing here? And I'll never forget it. And like, I'll never forget this day for the rest of my life. Bryan Danielson walks out wearing baggy blue pleather pants, waving a pirate flag. And I was just like, what? Why are you here? I'm like, I've never felt that before. That like, my God, you're reachable. And then it's just doing more of your research. And then he would do stuff in Japan, do stuff in Mexico. And it would just, the groundwork that he's laid for like so many of our guys to walk on is ridiculous. So then I don't get really emotional about wrestling, right? But I got emotional when I saw him at Southend. I got emotional when I saw him win the world title. I got emotional when he retired. I got emotional when I come back. And then when he showed up here back in 2021, I was sitting over in like COVID Japan. And I said, there's a chance. There's that small little chance. And to get that like was amazing. I'm gutted how it's turned out, but I'll never forget the day that I stepped in the ring with someone that I've held to such a high standard, and he lives up to every bit of what a man he is. I'm just disappointed with the aftermath is all. Like from bell to bell, it was amazing. And then it's just this little grey patch now that's probably gonna, it's dampened it for me anyway. I'm glad everyone else enjoyed it, but I kind of feel crap, I'll be honest with you. Sorry. Like, is that all good? Is it
Yeah,
right if I
all
scoot
good.
off?
Yeah, Will, thank you so much. Congratulations on an incredible match again tonight.
Thank you for everything. God bless.
Thanks a lot again.
Bye.
God bless
Thank you guys so
Thank you,
much.
Will.
All right, Tony, before I open it up to everybody, how you doing?
I'm fantastic. We're entering the solo tone zone.
Yeah, we're in the solo tone zone,
as they
baby.
call it.
Speed it up.
Let's do it.
We've had a lot of really incredible pay-per-views with AEW. It seems like they just kind of outdo each other time and time again. Where does Dynasty stack up for you? The very first Dynasty.
It's incredible. It reminds me of, it's funny because I was with you recently at Wintrust Arena, and it brought me a lot of memories of the first Revolution. And like it felt that night like we debuted a new franchise, and that's what it felt like tonight. Like we started a new franchise, and back-to-back pay-per-views. I mean, this is probably back-to-back my two favorite shows ever to do. That Revolution we just did at Greensboro and send Sting off, And, you know, that and the original Revolution are probably two of my favorites. I think the original Revolution and Revolution 2024 and tonight, the first Dynasty. So, and, you know, you take that and maybe put the original Double or Nothing and Double or Nothing 21 in there. That's pretty good. All Out 21's a good show, but this was definitely one of our best shows. We've had a lot of great ones back to back. These last two have been incredible. And, you know, we had a tough act to follow because I thought the last Revolution, top to bottom, all the great matches on the show with great matches like Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston, Ospreay versus Takeshita, you know, Mox and Claudio versus FTR, and to have Sting's retirement match. It was one of the best shows of all time. And then to follow it tonight, top to bottom, with one of the best shows of all time, I thought, to me, it was one of my favorite nights ever. And being up here with some new champions and some great wrestlers, it was really special.
Yeah, it feels like a very special time for the entire company right now. Guys, the floor is all yours.
Hey, Tony, Garrett from Paste. Was there a specific moment or match when you realized Swerve was the guy that you were going to run with?
It's a great question. Definitely, I think in the Hangman Page matches, that's when Swerve, I think during his rivalry with Hangman Page, stepped up another level. I mean, I've thought for a long time Swerve's really, really interesting, you know, in Casino Battle Royale in 22 and the Royal Rampage in 22. Swerve really, not long after he arrived in AEW, started making a splash, throwing out some of the biggest names in AEW, swerving people in Casino Battle Royale 22, swerving people in the Royal Rampage, and then getting involved with his own tag team partner and kind of a rivalry, and then becoming a world champion as a tag team star, and then breaking out in a singles rivalry. He just kept stepping up further and further and further. But I definitely think the biggest leap was during his rivalry with Hangman Page, and I think that's one of the best rivalries ever in AEW, Swerve versus Hangman. And tonight, I think it, you know, he cemented his legacy, became the world champion officially, but certainly in recent months, I think Swerve and Samoa Joe has become this incredible rivalry. And it really, in recent weeks, I thought they had one of the best contract signing segments I've ever seen. And there's been so many contract signings in wrestling. We've seen so many. And I think for me, Swerve and Samoa Joe will go down as one of the best. And also really on Dynamite went off with an amazing moment with that Swerve stomp on the pile and then the muscle buster. And they went into the pay-per-view on such a high note and then had an amazing match in the main event and left the pay-per-view on an amazing high note. It's been a really great week for the company in so many ways. And I think really definitely Swerve has stepped up. But if the moment I think he took that leap is when you beat a former world champion like Hangman Page in iconic rivalry. I think that, you know, really cemented him to me.
Tony, next question over here.
Hi, Tony. Jack Garner of 89.1 KCLC. I want to ask you, everybody always talks about how great of a wrestling city St. Louis is. How do you think the crowd today lived up to that expectation?
It was fantastic. You know, it was years ago that I promised St. Louis they would get a great pay-per-view, and I think we lived up to it in every way, shape, and form, and the crowd lived up to it too. St. Louis is a great wrestling city with an amazing, amazing history. You know, when I was 12 years old, I used to talk to Luthez on AOL, and Luthez, and I picked up stuff from Luthez when I was like, Luthez taught me how great Buddy Rogers was, and he was totally right. When you go back and watch, Buddy Rogers is like one of the best wrestlers of all time and one of the most influential of all time, and both of them, two of the most influential of all time. And great history of pro wrestling here in St. Louis, and I'm really happy that, you know, we've had shows here that have been excellent before, but tonight was by far the biggest attendance AEW's ever had. We had an amazing crowd, and I think one of the best shows we've ever done, and put our stamp and an indelible moment for AEW in the history of St. Louis wrestling, which is so rich. It's a great town, and it was great to have Dynasty debut here in St. Louis tonight. Thank you.
Question over here.
So I guess that footage that aired on Dynamite, I think some people might say you probably were right, or maybe some people might disagree, because I felt like Jack Perry today felt like a bigger star than he was before. Could you just talk about Jack Perry's return tonight and the crowd reaction for him?
Well, I'm really excited about a lot of things happening in AEW. I think Jack Perry's return got a lot of excitement. It got a huge reaction. Again, I mentioned we were in Chicago. It was a great night for the company when Jon Moxley became the IWGP World Champion. And I got to watch Jack Perry's return to American wrestling in New Japan Pro Wrestling. He got a massive star reaction at New Japan Pro Wrestling's Windy City show. And I think he's been doing great work in New Japan Pro Wrestling. And when you go over, do an excursion, have a great run like he had in the New Japan Cup and a great performance like he had against Shota in Chicago, I think that had a lot to do with it. I do think we made a bold call in the run up to this match, and really it heightened the circumstances. And I do think it added to the presentation of the moment of Jack Perry's return tonight at AEW Dynasty. And the pay-per-view was a home run. And I think a lot of people felt like it was a great return. Also, I felt like it was important to explain partially where Jack's been, because the last time we saw him on AEW television was at Wembley Stadium. He went through the curtain. We never saw him again since. So I did feel like some responsibility to the viewer, given I knew Jack was going to return to AEW, that explain where he's been.
Another question over here.
Hey, Tony, Caden Lee, WrestlePurist. Mercedes Monet's debut match in AEW was announced tonight against Willow at Double or Nothing. With about 70 days between Big Business, her debut in AEW in general, and then her debut match, a lot of fans are speculating about the status of Mercedes Monet coming off of that injury last year against Willow. Is Mercedes Monet right now cleared for a singles match?
She'll be cleared at Double or Nothing for the singles match. And that was a big part of this, knowing that it's been a major road for her to return from the injury. Big Business, we did a great crowd in Boston. It was a great crowd last year in Boston. We drew even more fans this year for Big Business and really stepped up. And I think her presence was a huge part of that. And it was great to have that moment, but also start building up some real excitement around the championship, some real excitement around AEW to have a top free agent arrive on the big stage like that on Dynamite in the TD Garden in Mercedes' hometown. Got a great reaction. I think it's built a lot of excitement. Now we know Mercedes is going to challenge for the TBS title. Like Willow said, she's going to be an active champion. So we do know Mercedes has been out about a year. When she wrestles at Double or Nothing, it will be a full year since she last wrestled. And it was against Willow. She blames Willow for causing this injury. And really, they've been butting heads since Mercedes arrived. But there are a lot of variables here. We've seen backstage attacks, assailants, and Willow has said she's going to be a fighting champion. So there could be more matches before. But we know Mercedes will be cleared for later in May, about just over a month from now, Double or Nothing. I'm really excited for it, for Mercedes to come here. She's one of the most decorated champions in wrestling. I think for her to walk in, somebody with one of the best resumes of any champion in the sport, to come in and challenge, it makes a lot of sense. For the TBS and the TNT championships, we've had outsiders come in. It's a little different than the top 5 rankings criteria we've had around the World Championship or the World Tag Team Championship or the World Women's Championship. I definitely think what we've seen with Mercedes in her career, she's one of the best big match spotlight wrestlers in the sport. And when she was wrestling Willow last time, the fact is she got hurt. She's been out now a year going into this match. And Willow has really stepped up in that time. Willow is the TBS champion. She's going to be an active TBS champion. If she is still the TBS champion going into Double or Nothing, she'll go in not only the TBS champion, but the reigning Owen Hart Foundation Cup winner and the last person to beat, the last person to wrestle, and really the person to put Mercedes Monet on the sidelines, all the above. So a lot of excitement around the match. So she will be cleared for Double or Nothing for sure. Thank you.
Do a few more for Tony right back here.
Alicia McPherson. I'm with Fox 2 News 11 here in St. Louis. You said St. Louis has a great wrestling history and is a great wrestling town. Is that a commitment to bring another pay-per-view back?
I would love to come back, and the pay-per-view calendar is set for the rest of this year, but definitely after a great night tonight, St. Louis will be back. I can't wait. More events here and down the line. I would love to bring a pay-per-view back to St. Louis. I think we've already announced all the pay-per-views for the rest of 2024, but absolutely in the future. I think after the first AEW Dynasty, tonight was such an amazing night, largely due to the amazing environment that the city of St. Louis and the crowd provided. We'd love to come back to St. Louis. It was a great pay-per-view debut for us, I think.
Yeah, absolutely. That crowd was wild all night.
They were really good.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, I'll take some more questions. I know a lot of you traveled in. It's great to see you. So let's keep talking.
Question over here.
Andrew Badella, Final Bell Media. Hi, Tony. With your media rights looming,
is there a possibility that you would take all 3 of your shows to a streaming platform?
Well, it's a great question. You know, I think it's something to consider. You know, there are sports that have done that. And when you look at different media rights, some people have split among a platform of streaming and linear TV, cable TV. We're going to have a lot of great options. Right now, I think we're in an exclusive negotiating window with Warner Brothers Discovery, which is amazing. We have really an amazing relationship, and I think it's a really great thing to have wrestling on TBS and TNT for the fans every week. It's a great tradition. It's a great American tradition, and I really, really love it. And all things, you know, to me, I love being here, and I can't wait to keep talking, keep figuring it out. But I definitely think you can count in 2025 on, at a minimum, the opportunity to stream the amazing library that we've built with hundreds and hundreds of hours. We're going to get this figured out. I know in 2025, we'll have a, you know, now it's crazy because we've done, we're approaching, I think, 240 episodes of Dynamite. And we've done over 100 episodes of Rampage. We're coming up on a year of Collision. We've done this amazing library of pay-per-views. And when I acquired Ring of Honor, now that's thousands of hours of great footage, including the Sinclair years, the HD Net years, lots of great pay-per-views, events, the original All In. And we have a great partnership with New Japan Pro Wrestling, and they have a great library too. There's so many great opportunities for not only our own content, but to bring in more. It's going to be really interesting to see in 2025. I think we've shown now with the debut of AEW Dynasty, we've got this amazing track record of delivering on pay-per-view events. So there'll be so much great content. But for the future of Dynamite, Rampage, Collision, I think there's a great opportunity to reach the fans across multiple platforms. And really, after doing a great show like this and great shows like Revolution and the great run we've been on lately, it bodes really well, I think, for us having a lot of good options for next year. Thanks, Drew.
Another one over here.
Hi, Tony. Phil from Bleacher Report. Tonight's pay-per-view is available on Triller and YouTube. Is that going to be something going forward that you guys will still do? And moving forward with the increase in pay-per-views, is there any talks with the streaming to, you know, increase the pay-per-view distribution other places other than Bleacher Report?
Well, right now, I think that deal is set for at least 2 more pay-per-views that it's going to be distributed across multiple platforms. So definitely for Double or Nothing in May, and then in June, Forbidden Door, those will be streamed across, I think, all these platforms. I believe pretty much all of them we saw tonight: Triller, YouTube, obviously Bleacher Report, our home since the beginning, and ppv.com, a number of streaming platforms, in addition to cable, Dave & Buster's, a lot of ways to watch a show. I believe we know for at least the next 2 pay-per-views, the multiple platform approach is going to be there, and then we're planning for the future. But so far, I've heard great things about it tonight, and it's very well received, and it's great for us to have lots of options to reach all the pay-per-view consumers with such a great show like tonight for AEW. Thanks, Phil.
Over here, Tony.
Hey, how's it going, Tony? Daryl Starks with Covalent TV. I just want to ask, you talk about Warner Brothers Discovery. I just want to ask you, where's the morale with Warner Brothers Discovery? How happy are they with the product currently?
Very happy. I heard from them. Great show tonight, and been hearing really great things. You know, the past few weeks, the Dynamite numbers significantly up from where they were the last couple of weeks, and the pay-per-view tonight, tremendous. And to come off Revolution, I think, like I said, when right after Will left, it's like we did one of our best pay-per-views ever. To me, like, you know, the original Revolution and this past Revolution are probably the 2 best shows, arguably, that we've done. And to have that, you know, follow up on it with another one of the best shows, pretty cool. And they were thrilled with it. So I've already got the text right before I walked in here about what a great event it was, how happy they are with it, and really, really good feedback on Dynamite and also Collision last night. It was, you know, really exciting to be able to do the 3-hour blocks on Saturdays lately. We have another 3-hour block coming up this Saturday, and that's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to going back to Jacksonville this week. You know, Saturday will be a 3-hour block. We've got NFL draft coming up. We have NFL Films in the house filming. I'll have a busy run in Jacksonville. We'll be doing Collision, and I'll be working on the undrafted free agents, all the ultimate multitasking scenario on Jacksonville on Saturday. But before then, on Wednesday. We have our homecoming show in Jacksonville, and I'm really, really excited about it. It's really cool to be able to go back there. Like I said, it's a great thing for the company to have Jon Moxley as the IWGP World Champion. Last night we saw Mox at Collision, and we saw Powerhouse Hobbs and Don Callis, who's got a lot of pull in New Japan, has gone and played his old IWGP political games. And like he said, he led Kenny Omega to the IWGP title. He's been a mastermind over there before, and I do think it's going to be a great match on Wednesday. I would like to remind everybody, we found out the show is coast to coast live. We'll be reminding people about, we said it a few times last night and said it again tonight. The show's on at 5 p.m. Pacific this week. So for our West Coast fans, it's not your usual 8 p.m. start time. We're on live coast to coast. We're the lead-in for the NHL, which is a great opportunity for us to be the lead-in. I think they'll get a nice lead-in from us for their game. And we love being the beneficiary of great lead-ins sometimes too. And I think Saturday we're going to have a great lead-in from the NBA playoffs. So Collision starting probably 8:30 on Saturday, which gives me a little extra time to get the best undrafted free agents signed up and get my golf cart back and forth between the stadium and Daly's Place. Really, really great show tonight. And I think they were thrilled with it. I already heard from them, but it's a big week coming up anytime we go back to Jacksonville Daly's Place. Thanks.
Question over here.
Hi, Tony. Danielle Livingston from Black Girl Wrestling. I guess I would just ask, so AEW Dynasty is obviously a brand new pay-per-view. How would you say that it performed for you guys, whether it be financially or in the ring? How would you overall rate it?
I think it's looking really positive. The multiple streaming platforms hopefully will work for us. We've had a really good response across these new platforms. So it's all data still coming in, and we've got it coming in from a lot more sources. So it's still adding up, but it was a really, really great show, and looking very positive, especially for an inaugural pay-per-view. It could be one of our best franchise launches. A bunch of people were saying it really felt like we launched a new franchise tonight, which is amazing because we've had really expanded, from where we started. It's crazy to think where we are now, going from, we used to do 2 hours of TV. Now we do 5 hours every week. And we started with, quarterly 4 really great shows. We added Forbidden Door to go to 5 and 22. Last year expanded to 8, 9 now. We've gone from 4 to 9 since we began. And it feels like each one has added something and made the experience better. And I think that speaks to the quality of the wrestling and the roster, that we've gone from doing 2 hours of TV to 5 every week, and that we've gone from doing 4 pay-per-views a year to 9, and that we actually feel really, I think, stronger, and we've added. It's pretty great. And really, to look back at it now, consistently doing great shows. A lot of people thought this was one of our best weeks of TV. I think it was a really great week. Dynamite was really great. Collision and Rampage last night, really strong. And then, adding the pay-per-view into it, just start to finish great. Going back to Jacksonville, it feels really good. And I think we've really launched a great business tonight with Dynasty. Thank you.
Okay, is there anybody else that hasn't asked Tony a question that would like to ask him one? Back over here.
David Perry, Evan Max, World of Wrestling. Tony, you're from Peoria, Illinois, right?
I'm from Champaign, Illinois.
Champaign.
But it's close
so
by.
It was a bit of a homecoming for you yesterday, right?
Yes, sir.
I have a question. Do you have any updates on the impending return of MJF?
Well, it's a great question. I don't know how those two things are connected, but that was a good lead-in. You buttered me up for the well, yes, MJF, one of the biggest stars in AEW. We haven't seen him in recent months. And I would love to get MJF back here soon, sooner than later, like really soon. We would, we've got so many great things happening, and I think that would be really additive. He's one of our great wrestlers, and we've had great things happening in AEW lately. A lot of great milestones just in the last really couple months. I mean, to go from Revolution, one of the best shows top to bottom, great matches. Like, we listed out all the great matches, and to hit the button of Sting's retirement, maybe one of the greatest send-offs ever. I think the greatest send-off ever. And then have Jon Moxley win the IWGP World Championship, coming to Jacksonville this week to defend it against Powerhouse Hobbs. And then have Dynasty be such a huge home run. Everything's going so great for AEW right now. I think that would be something that would add a lot. That'd be awesome to have MJF back, and soon. I would love that.
Okay, last call. Anyone that hasn't asked Tony a question? Over here.
Hi, Joel Torres Contralona. Alongside MJF, there are also two stars that are missing, Kenny Omega and Dr. Britt Baker. What can you tell us about them?
Well, I would look forward to seeing both of them as soon as we possibly can. I think both of them have been recuperating from totally different things, and both great former world champions for AEW. And hopefully we can see them both soon. Going to Winnipeg, it would be great, even if he can't return, to see Kenny Omega. I think that would be pretty awesome for the fans up there. So that's still something I'm optimistic. Hopefully we could do, but also, for Dr. Britt Baker, the sooner she's back, the better. She's a great world champion for us and a great representative of AEW. We've missed her, and that would be tremendous. We saw Adam Cole back tonight, and hopefully see Dr. Britt Baker back sometime soon too. And we've missed Kenny Omega. I've talked to him a few times this week, and he's one of our greatest champions, one of our greatest stars ever, and he's been here from the beginning. So we definitely miss him.
Okay, I think we got everybody on this side. Anybody
Anybody
on
else
this side that hasn't asked
anybody
a
who
question?
came and traveled, I'd love to make sure everyone gets at least one question.
Going once?
Great.
I think we're good.
It's great. Well, I appreciate you all being here. Thank you. Luckily, it's a pretty central location, so it's not too far for anyone, I hope. But I really appreciate everybody, local media, and everybody who traveled to be here. Without all of you covering AEW from the very beginning, really when we launched, especially before we had TV, it was really a lot of you that gave us these great opportunities and made it possible to launch AEW. So God bless you, and thank you for being here. Thank you, Renee, for hosting this.
Of course.
It's great. Let's hear for Renee. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for coming out tonight. Everybody get home safe, and hopefully we'll be able to see all your faces at Double or Nothing.